often carry multiple roles in life, as professionals, as daughters, as wives, as mothers, and caregivers. With each role comes responsibility, expectations, and sometimes quiet challenges that not everyone sees. In conjunction with International Women's Day, we wanted to create space for a casual conversation in hopes that other women watching this will see parts of themselves in our stories and know they're not alone. Today, we are not just talking about careers. We're talking about journeys, about how each of us arrived where we are today at FIMM and in our respective lives. So this conversation is about growth, transitions, perspectives, and the lessons we continue to carry with us. And perhaps, in sharing them, offering a little encouragement and affirmation to those walking their own paths. This particular coffee talk is a special one for me, is because I am now sharing the table with my very own colleagues. Join me in welcoming Gigi from Registration, Sarah from Legal and Regulatory Affairs, and Aimee from Professional Development Services. We may all be part of the same organization, but our journeys have been very, very different. Each of us bring our very own experiences, perspectives, and lessons. And I'm really looking forward to unpacking those stories together. It's great to have all of you here today.
Thank you.
Hi, Jolita. Thank you.
So, tell me, are you excited?
Yes. Very much.
Definitely, yes.
You know, the moment when I got news that you guys were the ones that I will be speaking to today, and I felt that this conversation is going to be quite limitless, lah. All right. So, please elaborate as much as you can. Okay. What were you doing before FIMM? Maybe I'll start with Gigi.
Thank you, Jolita. Previously I was a self-employed business owner in distributing camera-related accessory.
Nice.
And yeah, after that, due to the family commitment, I've decided to change my focus from career to family. So I withdraw from the business slowly, and because I feel that children then need more attention during their early childhood. Yeah, so I think this is a drastic change, but I think different people, they will have a different priority in their season of life. Yeah.
Thanks, Gigi. Sarah.
Okay. My first job was in conveyancing. To all my conveyancing lawyers friend out there, I'm sorry, I say this with love. It's dry. It's dry. So like after my 47 or something SPA, I started questioning my life. So it's noble work still, but I started questioning my life. And then I moved into competition law. So at the time, it was recently passed. The law is recently passed. So that was a steep learning curve. I literally get to see the implementation of the law at the time. So it was exciting, intense, but also humbling, After that, I pivoted into a pure legal work, which I get to do a lot of contract reviews. And my days are always like arguing in comment sections in the PDF and, words. And you will be like, please see my comments in clause 7.2. Angrily, but like when you read it, it's just, not as dramatic as how I'm typing it lah. So, and then I joined FIMM. And I get to do a lot of exciting work as well. Complaint handling and contracts. So it's like best of both world kind of thing. So I get to do contract review, I get to do investigation, I get to do a little bit of drafting. And, right now, I genuinely have nothing to complain. Job scope-wise, I'm happy with what I'm doing. The irony is, I'm doing complaint handling, but I have nothing to complain. Yeah, so that would be the irony.
Thanks, Sarah.
So ironic.
Aimee.
Hi. Okay. Hello, ladies. Hi, Jolita.
Okay, I started my career in the education industry. I started as an English teacher, and then for a few years of teaching, I decided to try something else. So I jumped into the management line, still in the education industry. And then for a bit, I was like, hey, why not explore different industries? So since I've been in the learning and development line, I started to explore telco industry. So it's I would say it's a quite fun and young vibe that they have. And then I jumped into construction company, construction industry. And now I'm with a regulator. Yeah, so it's quite colorful, I would say, but it's a good experience, and I think I had good exposure as well.
She's definitely correcting my grammar every now and then.
I'm not a grammar Nazi.
Right. So, Gigi mentioned something about drastic changes, right? And from what I'm hearing here, it's that all of us have come from different, industries and backgrounds, and all of us have now landed in capital market. Gigi, tell me, how did you land into the capital market? Is it like right now at FIMM, or were you already in the capital market earlier on?
Earlier on, I graduated with the Bachelor of Economics. So I began my career with banking line. So particularly in unit trust, I'm providing financial services in terms of unit trust. So that's why, after I decided to come back to the workplace, so I naturally thought of rejoin the financial industry. And, the timing was just perfect that, my friend told me that there's a vacancy in FIMM. So I decided to give it a try, and I made it. So I'm proud to be part of FIMM.
Nice. Aimee.
Yes.
How did you land in capital market? Out of going from all of those industries that you were in, then how did you now join FIMM?
Well, to be honest, I was on the lookout. When you're on the lookout, it's always like, just want to explore things, right? So happened that there was an opening in FIMM, so I gave it a shot, and then I attended the interview. I guess they liked me in that way, so I landed the job. Yes. So and I was willing to explore. I wanted to explore new things as well. So,
did you have any knowledge on capital market at all?
No, nothing. In the interview, they asked me, do you know anything about unit trust? So I said, I know unit trust is where you invest and then you get something in return, and then that's it. And then,
Okay. And Sarah, what about yourself?
Honestly, if you ask me whether I've imagined myself working in capital market, the answer is no. I did imagine myself being successful, but not in this way, scrolling policies during the weekend instead of TikTok and just TikTok. I mean, I do still scroll my TikTok and Instagram, or, reviewing endless contracts, or even during the weekend, go out and talk about unit trusts and scams. So I just didn't realize that it's here, it's this. So coming from a typical, Asian household, you would know, I don't know, you're Chinese, I know, I'm not being anything here.
Okay.
But the most successful career would be doctor, I don't know.
Doctors, engineers,
yes,
doctors,
lawyers,
engineers,
yes.
accountants.
Yes,
Yep.
So that's that. But today, somehow I'm here. A law graduate in a capital market, doing, everything that I can do under the sun, I guess, legally.
Great. Now, okay, so we've now that is now industry. We've covered industry. Now let's dive a little bit into the working experience bit, right? Having gone through different work experiences, has each job equipped you better and better for the subsequent job? Aimee.
Right. So, like I said, my first job was teaching, right? I was in the teaching line. So when I was teaching, most of the time I deal a lot with students. So there were a lot of face-to-face conversation with my students. I did learn communication skill, and then from there I leveraged my skill set to other industries, still in the L&D line, but then I had different stakeholder, I had different audience. So whatever, I would say, if you go into different industry, whatever work that you do, there's definitely something that you'll gain out of it. So to me, whatever that you have gained, bring that with you when you move forward. Yeah. So I would say whatever you do is always a learning step, always a learning process. Yeah.
Sarah, what about you?
Um,
Has it equipped conveyancing that you speak of? right?
I
Has
never
that
wanna talk
equipped
about
you?
that. Okay, so absolutely. I think every job give me new toolkit, new skill set. Some give me technical skills, some just give me resilience, some give me very important skill of staying calm when everyone else is not calm. And also some give me knowledge on how to, maneuver corporate life. And it's also in dealing with personalities, managing my blood pressure. They did teach me a lot. So I think I didn't just gain experience; I gained perspective on life as a whole. So if you ask me, has all the jobs that I have, worked as equipped me? Yes. The answer is yes. I'm a very different person now. I remember in my early 20s, when I get scolded from by my boss, I'll be like crying. And then in my late 20s, I'll be like fighting back all the time. But now I'm just calm. I'm like,
I think, well, just to add to that, I think when we were younger, or maybe when I was younger, right, I was quite rebellious. Whenever I see things that doesn't go right, I'll be like challenging them. And then at this age, I'm like, it's okay.
Right, you agree?
Yeah. I'll
We learn to adapt already.
Yeah, I'll just adapt. Yeah.
You're just calm.
Ladies, we're now revealing ages on this show. Oh no! How are we doing this? Really?
I said mid-30s, okay?
Thank you, ladies. So, Gigi, having gone through different work experiences, has each job equipped you better and better?
Yeah, definitely. Because having the experience in banking line and also being a business owner and later become a home minister. I mean,
Home minister,
a
yes.
homemaker.
Truly, home
big
minister.
role,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. Let's not underestimate the home ministers. They play
That's why
such
I
an
was
important
actually,
role.
where I have to be multitasking and also like I pick up the skill in management, in how to prioritize everything. And I think it's helped me a lot. And I gain a lot of exposure in different company because I need to deal with different kind of stakeholder. So it's also expand my network. So it helped me a lot.
And I actually agree with all of you because even in my case, so to be fair, I started off in audit, which is a very good foundation, I must say. It may be viewed as monotonous to many parties, but in my case, starting off, in financial audit and then going into the space of non-financial audit or rather internal audit and looking at that whole spectrum, right? The work experience from the technical bit of it and now coming into FIMM, which is a capital market industry, I can't even say it's same but different because it's actually very different, and I must say that it has really opened my eyes, especially to the point of investment, because truly, my work experience has even impacted my, on a personal scale. I used to, we used to hear a lot about investments and all that, but it used to be positioned in such a, a high flying, like it's such a complicated thing that only those who have got a certain amount of knowledge can get into investment, right? And if not, don't get into it. That is the one thing that when I got into FIMM, that's what it helped me because I actually found the courage to become an investor on my own. Right? So even with my previous knowledge, although background being financial audit and so forth, right, it still doesn't give you that sense of courage to go into areas that, are very much talked about by the general public or even by, elders who have been in this for a very, very long time when they talk about investments. But when I got into FIMM, it actually gave me that sense of courage. So yes, it did equip me in many angles, in many areas. But this is the one thing that I found that had brought about more, brought about value to me. Just put it that way. So moving on, going into the area of working women. Now, beyond our job titles in the office, right? We play multiple roles in our personal lives. Now we're getting into the personal life part of things. So we're daughters, we're wives, some of us are mothers, and some people only see the women in their workplace without having it in mind that they have lives outside of work as well. How do you do it all? Big question, huh? How do you do it all? Gigi?
I think to me it's the mindset. We need to try to strive for the balance, but balance not in terms of like how you divide yourself equally, but it's like how you prioritize. So like during this period of time, maybe, the work require more of me. So I will, place more focus to get my job done. But during certain time, maybe my family need me. So I will just actually try to be flexible, but stay committed. And like wherever my job need me or my family need me, I just stay focused and be present. Yeah. So I think striving to be balanced is very important.
Be present. It's
Yeah.
really, be present nowadays is such a powerful term.
Yeah.
It's so, sometimes you're there, but you're not there. That's the thing a lot of us struggle with these days, right?
Physically you're there, but mentally you're
somewhere
elsewhere.
else, somewhere more fun.
Somewhere more
yes. Yeah, or you may end up doing something, doing your work instead of focusing on what you're supposed to focus on. Yeah.
You need to pay the attention.
Yes,
enough
yes,
attention.
yeah. Be present. Yep.
Yeah. Sarah?
How do I do it all? I don't. I'm just going to be honest.
Do you have a maid?
Nope, I don't have a maid. I have 3 kids. I have a husband that is sweet, but can also be a baby most of the time.
So you got 4?
Yes, I got 4. Yes, so technically I have 4 kids. So I prioritize, I delegate, I compromise. Sometimes I had my breakdowns. I'll be like, huh. But with the right support system, I think when you wake up the next day, it's just a brand new day. Like, hello, good morning, let's do this again. And as a working mom of 3, I've learned that balance, like I would like to echo Gigi just now, balance is not equal. Some days I'm excellent at my job. Some days I'm an excellent mom. Some days my kids are just saying, you didn't listen to me, mommy, and some days I'm just surviving. And I think that's okay, that's just life, and my husband once told me that, kalau you takut dilanda badai, jangan berumah di tepi pantai kind of thing. But tepi pantai is a nice place to be at, So I don't mind the storms. But at the end of the day, you get to see the sunset and, the breeze. So I don't mind the badai. So if that's what you're asking me, how do I do it all? No. But I do have the right support system kind of thing.
That's a beautiful way of positioning the glass half full theory.
Yep, you're right.
Aimee, yourself.
Well, honestly, what I'm doing at the moment requires quite a lot of my energy to be put in because I do work on weekends sometimes. I think you guys are aware about that. And I would say, to work on weekends is not really a fun thing. But then, you still have to prioritize things because you always got other things to do as well. So in my case, I'm a daughter and a wife. I do have a husband at home. Sometimes he behaves like a kid. So, it's something that we cannot deny, right? So yes, at times I just need to prioritize. Whatever I need to do, I just get that done. So so you know, we have like a weekend list thing to do, right? So in that weekend list, it's always things like, okay, so we have yoga today, we have to clean up the house, we have to balik kampung, go back to my parents' house, attend weddings and all. So it's always prioritizing what we need to do. That's for me. Yeah, that's how I do things. I just make sure that the list is there. Then, okay, we're ready to take it on.
Yes.
List.
Yes. The mental list.
Yeah, no, I resonate with this list that you speak of. Because we talk about roles, right? And sometimes, so in my case, I'm not only a daughter and a wife. There's also this thing of I'm also a daughter-in-law as well, and I think all of us are, right? And the thing about it is, the things that also happen where it's not just about looking into our own little family and our own parents, but it's also considering the fact that our partner's parents is just as important as our parents as well, right? True. So their, and at any given point, their needs, their priorities also are in the mix of this list. And I must say, sometimes this list seems to be bottomless, to be honest with you. If we are being very frank, right, it just continues, because as time goes, you find that, when one thing is done, then the next thing just comes about.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You have to start. I mean, for my case, I will list down everything in advance. If I got events, marathon, yoga, whatever. So at least okay, so this date, no, we're not available. Go to the next date and all. Yeah. And it's never ending, like what you said.
Correct, And the thing about also dealing with seniors as well is, when something does happen to them, that entire list gets pushed aside.
True.
Right? Because if if an emergency happens of sorts, then the whole, our everything gets reprioritized back again. And that involves our movements. Even sometimes that involves our personal time, right? Yeah. So, when people talk to me about this context of work-life balance, I have a grouse on this term work-life balance, because today, I don't think it's work-life balance anymore. That's my personal opinion. It's work-life integration. True?
Yep. True. Yep.
With the age of the internet and the laptops, it obviously, there's a two-sided coin story here, right? But we are able to get things done, even sometimes at hours that may not be typical for everybody else, but actually may be convenient for us, right? And the thing about it is, and sometimes there are certain things that are dealt with within the hours that, everybody looks at it as, we should segmentize it. Okay, from this time to this time. It doesn't work that way with women. If we really think about it, it doesn't. Because let me tell you, if it does, nothing moves. We are women who have not just not just a pair of hands. Yeah, I feel like we've got two more hiding at the back, if you ask me. And it all works on our mental as well.
We had to get ready, physically and emotionally available at all times.
Exactly.
At all times.
Exactly. That thing of being present, being on point, and holding it together sometimes, it's not easy. It's not easy. So that's that. I mean, it's really good to be able to speak to others, to say that, we're not alone. Because I'm so sure so many others out there are also facing the same thing that we are.
Yeah, true. Like what Sarah mentioned about the support system, I truly agree. So you don't feel like, ashamed, or, it's a weakness that you ask for help. Actually, I think this is, we work as a, team in the company, or as a family in our household. I mean, in our family, so that we need to try to help each other.
True. Yeah. So now, let me ask you about family, society, and all that. I'm sure all of this comes with pressures, stereotypes, pressures of societal expectations, right? Whether, we are at the workplace, or whether, or generally in the, culture. How do you manage that pressure? Do you let it get to you?
I think sometimes it does. There's always this silent expectation that women have to excel at work. You have to be a lady boss, but you also have to maintain a perfect home. Your house have to be
spotless.
Yes, spotless, marvelous. And then you also have to look put together all the time. Like you have to make sure you look nice all the time. And you also have to be present mother, doing gentle parenting, like no shouting. You just have to be like, hello, my dear, all the time. And also you have to be emotionally available for whoever, in your surrounding. So I think my personal struggle now, like in my early 30s, is reminding myself that I put that expectation on myself. Nobody put that expectation on me. So I did not, I always have to tell myself like I did not fail if like I have to ask for extension on tight deadlines, or the board rejected my proposal, which is often, or my home is a mess, or I'm not able to control my feelings when my kids are just being kids. So, I just have to keep on reminding myself that I put the expectation on myself, and sometimes it's okay. It's okay, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Hmm.
Well, I how do I say this? My father, he was a professor. So in my early career, he did have high expectation on me. He wanted me to be like him. So I said, no, I don't want to be a lecturer. And then that's where I start to just be brave and jump into different industries. And then when I jump into different industries, I actually get to see how other people thrive. I wanted to climb the corporate ladder, and then there's at a point where I told myself, hey, you know what, it's okay, just go with the flow. So long you're not stressed out. Well, I mean, we'll get good pay eventually, right? And it's always the matter of how you manage your money. And then now they say mental health is a priority, so I go with that as well. So it's so long you deliver the job, you get the job done, your boss is happy with you, your colleague is okay with you, then I think it should be okay. Not much pressure for now. Yep.
For me, I think this is a real question. Like when I decided to, how should I say, stay away from the business. So a lot of people say that, hey, you have been, studying so long and, working so hard, and now you just want to give up everything and become a home minister. Yeah, so then after that, when I decided to, come back to the workplace, then again, people saying that, are you sure you can manage it? Because now the working environment is totally different, especially after COVID. So there's a lot of, opinions coming in. So I feel that nobody know ourselves better. So they give us their opinions. I think for those like good, useful idea, then we can say it. Other than that, I think we should still manage our own expectation and mindset. Like trade off is actually part of the cycle, so we have to get in and, some of the things that we have to prioritize first. So I think mindset is very important. We have to manage our own expectation.
But I think if I can add on Gigi's point, I think there's this stigma that, if you're a housewife or a homemaker, you're not as glamorous as if you are a career woman. But people don't realize the workload that you have as a home minister, and what more if you're working and you have to manage your household. That's the struggle that I think people just can't see, like what you were saying just now, the mental the workload, it's just it's a lot. So I think regardless if you're a career woman or you're a home minister, you are equal. You have your own struggles. You do things. You achieve things. So
you contribute also.
Yes, you contribute in your own way. So I wouldn't want to. I just want to say, like, it doesn't matter if you're a career woman or you're a homemaker. You are still successful woman in your own way.
Yes.
Right. I think whatever we're doing, juggling is part of it. You have to juggle this, you have to juggle that, prioritize this, prioritize that. So it's basically whatever you're doing is, in the end, it is something that you would achieve as well.
So we actually define our own success. Different people have a different definition.
It's really important to celebrate little achievement.
But I don't know if you guys have a long day at work and you were thinking, like, maybe I want to be a tai-tai. I don't want to do all this work. Going to Pilates and, so
Why not, right?
Especially when you see some of these Instagram reels and all the
know,
social
right?
media reels and all that, and they show this life from the start, and how they some of them, they have this, they're able to just go out, they grab their cup of coffee, then they head over to Pilates, and then they
I know, right? Amazing. But I love my life now, So
but then we bring ourselves back to the fact that, hey, I think what's most important, I think really what truly is gratifying is that we recognize ourselves as a personal contributor to a bigger agenda. And speaking of the context of agenda, right? This year, I believe the capital market is very much focused into bringing women back into the workforce. I believe so, and we've been reading quite a bit about it. And I think it's an excellent initiative, of especially those who have taken a relatively longer career break to prioritize their families, and then they've come back into the workforce, into the capital market workforce, right? So we look at that, and then we also look at this stigma. Okay, let's talk a little bit about stigmas, right? Job hopping, or rather job switching. So here we are wanting to get back into the workforce, but at the same time, there is the concept of, there is this chase of the corporate, or, the corporate chase lah, essentially. But at the same time, you're trying to also balance out experience. You want to make sure that you're able to get the most amount of experience in a particular organization. So what are your personal thoughts about staying in a company for as long as possible versus switching companies, let's say, every 2 to 3 years? What are your views on that?
I think it is not a matter of the length of time that you stay in a company, but it's more on like, are you still growing or learning? So like, if you stay in the same company for more than 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, so from there you can actually try to deepen your expertise. And also like, you can have a stronger bonding with your stakeholder, your colleagues, your external customer, all these things. So this is the benefit of it. But if let's say someone, they have decided, to have a switching of company, like every maybe 2-3 years, I think this is also a good exposure. They actually push themselves out from the comfort zone and they try to expand their network and all these things. So I think each have their own benefit.
Yeah, I don't think loyalty should be measured by the number of years you are in an organization. It's not a loyalty card. You don't get more points for staying longer. So your job and you, to me, this is how I view it. My job and me, it's like a barter system. I contribute, you give me, monetary values, okay, and other benefits, of course. So for me, loyalty is always measured by growth. So if I can evolve, I can contribute more, I can learn, and I can still feel challenged with whatever I'm doing, then staying with an organization is meaningful. It's not being stuck. It's, you're being strategic about it. But let's say you find yourself shrinking. You find yourself going, be like every Sunday, like 9 p.m., be like, oh my God, it's already Monday.
Monday blue.
Yes, Monday blue.
Monday blues,
And you dreaded going to work, and you lost your curiosity to contribute more. Or think of ideas on how to make things better, or even you are operating just on autopilot. Okay, you told me to do. You say I should do this. I'll do this. Just this. Then maybe it's not about enduring it. Maybe it's about you have to do some realignment. Sometimes it's not about staying and growing. Sometimes it's also acknowledging that, it's time to move on. And for me, mentorship and leadership matter more than anything else. Having a great mentor and a great leader, they don't just guide you, they stretch you, they change you, they make you a better person, they challenge your thinking, they refine how you judge things or how you see things, and sometimes they tell you what you don't want to hear, but you need to, So the right mentor can actually, accelerate your growth more than 3 job hops, for example. But also, if you look at it on the flip side, if you have a wrong mentor, it can make you, lose your spot. And if you stay too long, you might not like who you become at the end of the day. So job titles, for me, it can change, but eventually it's the people who shape you. And I'm so lucky, like from all my previous job and now, I get to work with a few leaders that really shape and, change me for the better. So thank you to all, my mentor and my leaders previously and now at FIMM.
Great point, Sarah.
Yes.
I think she has summed it all.
Yeah.
She, the way she elaborated, you happen to be a career coach?
I would want to be.
Yeah, so I do have to agree with what Gigi and Sarah did mention just now. Basically, when how job hopping and is it you want to be loyal to a company? It really depends on what is it that you have delivered. It goes back to you. Did you gain a lot already, or do you still want to grow? So, being in one company, there is always a chance for you to grow. But then there are times where you think you want to do more, you think you want to explore more. So maybe you know it's a time for you to look elsewhere.
All right, ladies. Thanks for your input. Now, I'm going to backtrack a bit and go on the topic of age. We were talking about age so much just now, right? I started reflecting on how it was like during my younger days when I started out right after studying, because my journey was a little different. I worked and studied. So basically, I did my degree and my master's while having a 9 to 5 job. So night classes, so degree and master's throughout. Now, and sometimes I would sit and I would reflect and I'd ask myself, was that the right thing to do? Right? Did I make a wise choice of doing that? Because there are times that I wish, when you make decisions of this nature, there are things that you need to sacrifice. The one thing that I did sacrifice very much was my social life, right? When it came to, so that I could, in hopes and dreams of chasing the corporate ladder, right? And that's why, starting out very early, hoping that I would be of value at a much younger age. But if you ask me, if I go back to that, yes, the experience was worth it. And I do encourage people to work and to do the work and study if you can, because it actually builds character. But the one advice that I'd probably give myself is not to worry so much.
True.
I think I was so worried about everything that next thing you know, a decade had passed. And I sit down and I ask myself, was it really worth all that stress? And if you ask me, it's not. So ladies, reflecting on your younger versions of yourselves, or even, some of y'all are mothers of daughters and so forth. What would be the one piece of advice that you would give yourself, or rather even your daughters, on how they would continue their journey, basically, whether it's in career, the education, or in life in general? What would be the one piece of advice? Gigi?
I would say that, you define your own value. So never string yourself, just to fit into other people's expectation, because you know yourself better. So you know what is important in you and what is your strength and weaknesses, all these things. So, just have faith in who you are. And also, when this is time for you to pause or for you to reshuffle or even to restart, I think it's all okay, because there's no expiry date for chasing your dream. Yeah. So just keep doing and never underestimate yourself.
I actually have 2 pieces of advice. Okay?
Do share. Words of wisdom, Sarah.
Yes.
Do share.
If I can tell anything to my younger self, which was 2 years ago, okay, I would say, for working, for career-wise, do not be afraid of rooms. It's just rooms. You can go to your meeting rooms. You can go to your boss's rooms. And you can feel slightly unqualified, or is this where I should be? Do I belong here? Can I say anything in this room? This my opinion is, will it bring anything, impact or whatever? That uncomfortable feeling, it's actually a warning sign to tell you that it's growth. If you have that uncomfortable feeling and you start asking that question whenever you walk into a room, when you are working, chances are you are ready, And for me, when you are working, it's very hard for you to grow if you are 100% comfortable, because growth doesn't happen in comfort zone. It happens when you are stretching, like when you're doing Pilates, when you're stretching, and that's when, you explore the part of
Unleash your potential.
Yes, correct. So, but here's the balance to that. If the room gets too uncomfortable, for example, it stops challenging you, or you feel that it's not healthy anymore, it drains you, or it makes you not yourself anymore, you lose yourself, don't stay to just prove a point that you can't do it. Sometimes it's knowing you, and the powerful move is knowing when to move on. So it's all about knowing you and applying it to whatever circumstances or surrounding that you are in. And if I can say something a bit cringe-worthy, something that I get from ChatGPT, in short, lean into discomfort when it builds you, walk away when it breaks you. So that's not quitting, that's just wisdom. Okay, so that's the part for, when you are working corporate, you're chasing the corporate ladder, like what you said just now. But if I can advise myself on the woman part, on how to be a better woman, I would say you can do whatever. I mean, I can say that to myself 2 years ago, or to my kids, my daughters. You can do whatever. No one is stopping you. No one is limiting you. You do you. Whatever you want to do, there's nothing that, can say, hey, actually, you shouldn't do this. You should do that. So even if I'm at home, with my kids, I'm actually teaching my kids and my family to break that, traditional mentality that, woman belongs somewhere, in the kitchen doing household chores or something, and woman and men can sit, waiting and ordering you, where's my drinks and whatever. So I'm trying to, I start doing that at home, start breaking that, what do you call it, tradition?
Break the cycle.
Yes, break the cycle. And thankfully, I got a supportive husband who's open, to do this together with me and to break that, stereotype that, or traditional values that things should be this and women should only do this and men should only do this. So I would say that's the two advice that I can give to myself and my kids. And many more to come.
God willing. I mean,
Well, what I would tell to my younger self is that never be afraid of exploring new things. Never be afraid of growing. Because like what you guys you did mention that growth doesn't happen when you're too comfortable at one time, right? So it's okay to be afraid, and it's okay to be scared of something that will come to you, but eventually it will pass. If you don't, if you're not scared of it, meaning that you're not learning. You're not actually growing through it as well. So if let's say you want to do something different, but you think that, hey, what happens if it doesn't work? You have to try it out first. It will, there's always challenges that you do things. In whatever you do, there's always challenges, right? Yes. So you have to embrace that, and then it will actually groom you to become a more resilient person. Yeah. So if you don't go through it, you'll be too comfortable in your own space, and then eventually you'll be complacent doing the same thing all over again, and then your mindset will be the same as well. So I think it's important for you to think outside the box, explore something that is different, explore something that you've never done before. Yep.
and to the point of resilience, as we enter into the year of the fire horse, resilience is definitely what we need.
Yep.
And I do believe that as in time to come, that is actually a very important skill that all of us need to have, if you ask me. Because I agree with all of you. The thing about comfort is that it keeps you as you are.
Yep.
But the reality is that we all have so much of potential to be more than just as we are. And sometimes we have to go through things that humble us in many ways. So that might even mean break our egos.
Yeah.
It makes us come to terms with our weakness, but at the same time, it also makes us realize what is it that we need to do to strengthen that weakness.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I would like to add to that.
Please, please.
Opportunities is always there, out there, right? So it's always, it's just a matter of you wanting to do it or not.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes they be like, I'm scared. What if I don't get what I want? So the thing is, don't put too much expectation. That is one. Because if you put too much of an expectation, if you don't get that expectation, right, you will end up, you might end up being disappointed or upset and whatnot. Yeah, so
Not overthink.
yes,
I think.
and don't overthink as well.
I think it's a woman thing.
You know, this
Yeah.
overthinking thing.
Yes, overthink. Yeah.
That it's such a taboo
Yes.
word, okay?
Yes.
This overthinking thing.
Yes.
You know, everyone's like, oh, stop overthinking. But if you really look at it, sometimes we can't help ourselves.
Yeah.
With all, women are natural multitaskers, and let's call it for what it is on this show, because women are natural multitaskers. Hence why, we're talking about wearing different hats and all that, right? So, yeah, yay to us women.
Yay.
Yeah? And with that, Gigi, Sarah, and Aimi, thank you so much for being part of this conversation. I think this was one of the easier conversations that we would have had. And I do believe that even if all of us were just sitting around in the office during our breaks, I think
can
we
talk
would have
for hours.
we would have similar conversations, and venture into areas that are far and wide, if you ask me. It's been truly meaningful to hear about your respective journeys and the experiences that have shaped who you are today. We hope our viewers have found this conversation insightful and encouraging. Conversations like this remind us that behind every role and every title, there is a story. And it is in these stories that we often find conversations, connections, encouragement, and strength. For more Coffee Talk, make sure to hit like and subscribe on FIMM's YouTube channel so that you won't miss future content. See you in the next episode.